So to kick off, because you've kind of probably heard a few terms today, I just want to get a common understanding of what usability is. So we're going to start with a humble ketchup bottle, and this is Heinz's 2002 model. It's glass, it has an inverted neck and a nice little lid. It was this design for years, so this is a original design, probably in play for over 50 years, but it has a major flaw. Can anyone tell me what the flaw is with this design?
Can't get it out.
Yes! And they even made a joke of it in adverts where they're bashing the bottom of the bottle to try and get the ketchup out. So they kind of made it a little bit of a joke of it as well. But actually it is an issue and people can't get bloody ketchup out. So when they handed it to a UX team took that customer problem of getting the ketchup out of the bottle and redesigned it to this. So we now have a plastic bottle which you can squeeze, so it's not the glass jar anymore. They turned it upside down, so they thought, well, all the fluid will now be in the head of the bottle and can come out. Sounds terrible. Which sounds even worse for my next sentence, regarding pressure. So the pressure on the lid builds up, you get this gooey, watery ketchup, and then, yeah. So, okay, but actually, in reality, the usability of this particular bottle is that when you open that lid, it's going to spurt, and it's either going to spurt on the plate or your top or whatever. So, yes, not good. So even though you can redesign something with the customer in mind, it doesn't actually mean that, you know, it's going to be better. It could still have problems. And it's obviously the usability element with products and services that I'm most interested in. So I take out a lot of stuff that the UX team designed. You'll stop laughing.
Okay.
So they come up with prototypes for new versions of the site. So I will go out and I'll usability test them, and largely I'm checking, can they use the thing? Are they seeing the button that we might introduce, or the text, or whatever? And in honesty, a lot of the stuff that I take out actually doesn't go into production, because it might then go back and we might iterate it and we might take it back out again, so we might do a little bit of that. Okay, so what do we do? So there's myself and Jason Davidson. We are currently the only two customer researchers for usability testing at MoneySuperMarket. There is another one of us. You might have heard of John Wood. So he does marketing, customer research, so he is totally all about customer attitudes and trends and what's happening in the market. We don't do any of that. We just do usability testing, largely. And these are some of our methods. So we do remote usability studies. So that's when people are in their own home, on their own device. You can set them a task. It's recorded, and things, it's just a little bit, maybe a little bit more natural for some of the things that we want to test. We do quite a lot of moderated sessions. So we'll book a usability lab and we'll actually book somebody for an hour and we'll sit there and we'll do a one-to-one. We run focus groups. We do panel surveys, so that's where we'll use an external partner. I'm not allowed to touch our database of customers, so I have to outsource people. So I go to an agency and say, I want to run a survey, I want 300 people to take my survey, and they've got to be this, this, and this. And they go and find me people. The flip side of that is doing live site surveys, so that's where I can talk to our customers. So a little grey box appears on car insurance currently. It's rather ugly, but that's on purpose because it works. And we can just talk to customers while they're actually on the site, just asking them some questions. We can do click tests, so we embed these into our survey, so you can present an image to a customer, get them to do a little challenge and get them to click on the page where they think the answer is. And then you get your heat maps, so it's quite interesting. And we've also done eye tracking in the past, which is really insightful. So they don't have to wear glasses or anything, but you calibrate the participants' eyes with the device, and then it tracks wherever you look on the page, and the recording you get back, you get this little red line dancing all over the page. So that's some of the stuff that we do. These are some of our partners. UserZoom is massive for us. We use it a lot. These are some of the other things. So what users do and usertesting.com are the two that we've used to do our remote testing, where people can do it at home. There are panel suppliers, so SSI. Recruitment for one-to-one sessions, we use Focus for People and some others, and Bunnyfoot are great for the eye tracking, if you were interested in doing any of that. So UserZoom, like I said, we do use it a lot. We use it a lot because we can use it across multi-device. So in these examples here, these are sort of, that's a live test. So that's somebody on a website with a task, find a pair of 6-inch shoes in red. So that screen will be recorded, it's picture in picture, and is capturing what she says. The mobile device, he could be in a coffee shop, he could be on a bus taking that survey. That's the great thing with mobile testing, they could literally be anywhere. I had a guy in a bath once, that was interesting. But the UserZoom give you a dashboard, so all the results that get ploughed in from surveys or whatever your tests are, they calibrate all that, so we get nice pie charts and stuff. So we don't do an awful lot of number crunching because UserZoom can do that for us. Okay, so the main thing I wanted to talk to you about is actually a case study for testing energy whole of market. Now, as you are probably aware, we are Ofgem approved, and we need to show the whole of market in our results. Now, at the moment, there's not that many great deals out there for energy, so our results tables are looking a little bare, and we've kind of challenged Ofgem a little bit in saying, well, you know, can we run some MVT tests on the site where we, you know, perhaps remove it or change it slightly, you know, change filters. And they had a think, and they kind of came back and said, yes, we'll let you do it, but you've got to evidence to us that customers understood what they saw and how they felt about that journey. Now, MVT tests don't do that. They don't capture voice of customer. Yeah, they just capture what you do on the site, so the behaviour. So yeah, so I kind of got a little bit worried. The team were like really excited because Ofgem have allowed MoneySuperMarket to test whole of market, and yeah, I started getting a bit stressed. So I had to get my thinking cap on pretty quick. I suddenly realised that the UserZoom exit survey solution, so where it pops up on the live site, why don't we plug that into a web trends test? So the person that comes in and is put into a test will get served a survey based on that particular experience. So we asked our web trends guys, and they said, yeah, we could do that. I'm getting a little bit excited now. So that's what we did. So we went ahead. So these were the 4 variants that we wanted to test with. So the control is just what the live site is today. So it could be a mix of results. Version 1 plays on our cheapest deals top, and then whole of market towards the bottom of the table. Option 2, that is just calling out at the top the cheapest deal. That could be us, that could be a deal we don't have. Version 3, we put all the other deals in a box, and our deals would be in the main table. And 4, complete whole removal. No mention of whole of market on option 4. So they were the tests and the results. Excuse me. So this is an example of one of the surveys. So for each of those variants, we had to have a survey for each one that asked identical questions in order to be able to benchmark across each of the variants. So this is just one example of one of the questions. So in this instance, we asked customers, please can you click on the page to show us where MoneySuperMarket are telling you there might be cheaper deals on the market that you'll have to apply directly. So on the control version, we had a large amount of clicks here, and that is actually the right answer. We've had some clicks in other places, but you can see in variant 1, again, where that line of text is the correct answer, it didn't get quite so many hits, and people are clicking on the price. So maybe in variant 1, people are a little bit more confused than they were in control. And it's great that control was winning in this instance, because that's what we've iterated for years, and that's our best thing at the moment. So it was great to see that it was doing a good job, but how can we get the variance up to that level? So this is that exact same question, but this is for all the variants, and this is the data that UserZoom have given us back. So we can see here in the control that actually 40% of people successfully clicked that right answer. So we can program that image to this is the correct answer and this is all wrong. So non-success is where they've clicked out of that area. Version 1, only 22% got it right. Version 2, there was 69% success on that one, so that was quite good. Variant 3, 51% success, and variant 4 was 38%. So variant 1 was actually the least performing on that. But this is from a survey, right? This isn't from the MVT data that they normally get. So this is what they would produce to the business. So they look at all the stats. I think it was live for what, about 3-4 weeks. I think it was on for quite a while. And from the data that came out of our analysts, they kind of highlighted version 3 and 4 were probably the best because it gave the largest uplift versus the control. So those were looking quite good. Challenger 4, don't forget, that option was the one where we remove whole of market altogether. So as a business, is that the right thing to do? So I think, you know, we still want to be Ofgem accredited, we don't want to lose that, and we want to do the right thing for customers. So maybe option 4 wasn't the right thing for a customer perspective, but Challenger 3, uplift of 10%, that looks good. So we then overlaid that with the results from the survey. So again, each of the challengers, same questions, and actually Challenger 3 came out pretty strong in most of the areas. So we're kind of forming a picture now, and the recommendation was let's move from the control to the Challenger 3 option, which actually, when we number crunched it, worked out we could save 11,000 extra customers money by switching their energy through MoneySuperMarket. So I think this is the one that we're now currently looking at doing an implementation on. So adding that level of qualitative insight to what they're doing on the site, bringing those two together, convinced Ofgem that we were thorough in our approach, that we could prove that customers understood or were confused. So on that variant 1 option, it was probably a level of confusion, which was great for us. This new approach of adding exit surveys into MVT tests just brings us like a whole new level of insight, because in the old days we might have said, okay, so variant 4 is the winner, we're going to go with that, and just leave it at that. But now we've got this ability to add this extra level. We can now say variant 4 is the winner, but actually it might lower NPS a little bit. So we become a little bit more informed with our choices as opposed to just going with the MVT results. And just a little bit of a nod to us, really, I guess, on this test, that the CMA, Competition Markets Authority, were actually in favour of price comparison sites removing whole of market altogether. So that was a bit of a shock for us, for them to come out with that statement. And Ofgem loved the survey approach so much in the test that we did, that it's now instructed all other price comparison sites in their trial they have to do something similar. And in their document it actually says, e.g. exit surveys. So again, that was another brilliant win for us on there. So that's it. I just kind of wanted to bring to you what we're doing in RNA at the moment. So the research and analytics are trying to be smarter, bringing more data together to get better outcomes really for our tests. So that's it.